everyone, I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and I don't want to leave any dye behind. Here in my dedicated dye pot, I have the remnants of at one point was 8 cups of water and 4 tablespoons of white vinegar. It has exhausted clearly. And then we've got this orangish, beigeish, tannish leftover dye. And this dye is a combination of some jacquard reds, Aztec gold, yellow, even a little bit of gunmetal. And I used it for a project that hopefully at some point I'll be able to share with all of you. There is relatively high acid in here right now, but it shouldn't be very warm. It should be lukewarm at best. And yeah, you know, this color right here reminds me honestly of yellow onions. I am pressing in some dry Knit Picks Stroll fingering weight yarn fairly randomly. You can see we've got some color striking already in just this minute that it's been that we've been putting the yarn in. And we definitely have some uneven color absorption going on. So right now, because a lot of this color has just struck, there's a tiny bit left, I'm going to take this skein, which is no longer dry, and set it aside, and we're going to add some more color to our pot. I've basically finished off this bottle of Jacquard Fire Red, and I'm going to go add some water to it and put it in the pot. There's probably, goodness, maybe a teaspoon or so left. Yeah, before I even go rinse it, well, let's just rinse off the cap a little bit. But that's basically it for the liquid itself. There's some dried dye around the cap edge. I'm trying to get some of that off. But anyway, I am going to go fill this with water so we can rinse out the bottle. Jacquard Fire Red is a really, really good red. It's one that I like a lot, and it behaves pretty nicely. But let's take our skein again, and I'm sort of turning it to some of those areas that last time got a little less color. We'll get maybe a little more this time. At least our yarn is no longer dry, so therefore we can sort of move things in a little faster and easier. You can see we're getting this sort of peachy tonal that's layered and fun. So I don't know, I'm really happy about this because the first time you saw there wasn't a lot of color and it was quite uneven. And the color is still uneven in terms of the hue, but it's a lot more even in tone now. And honestly, most of it has actually absorbed. But we do need to heat set it, so I am going to turn on the stove right now. With our heat on sort of medium right now, we're going to warm things up over the next 15 minutes. And I'm sure in that period of time, all of the color will absorb because it basically has already. Yeah, that color has basically all absorbed already. Yeah, I forgot the timer, so I'm not sure exactly how long that was. But anyway, we have definitely absorbed all of that color. But I am going to go ahead and just leave the yarn in here to cool off completely. And then we can wash it and blah, blah, blah. There are many different ways to create a salmon colored tonal yarn. But I am so thrilled that we did the semi-solid step twice and layered on the more yellow color, then the more reddish pink color. This combination gives us this stunning medium toned yarn, but that has these shifts of hue throughout it. Just even right now you can see areas that are more pink and some that are more orange, but the overall saturation level is fairly even. I'm sure that there are some darker patches and lighter patches throughout this yarn, but it's just going to feel soft and subtle, but still have some dimension when you knit or crochet with it. That is just awesome. There are so many different ways you can combine color on yarn. You can go and just mix your color and dye it all in one round. But if time allows it, I love layering colors like this because you wouldn't get this kind of color from one mixture unless you had a color that breaks. And so that can happen. For example, I think Wilton's Creamy Peach. It definitely breaks into pink and orange. Maybe you could get something similar to this with that food coloring dye. But you can't always control how the colors are going to break, and you don't always necessarily get even sort of depths of shade across the whole skein. And so dyeing the yarn in 2 steps, whether you're using 2 different colors or just one color, gives a more evenness in the amount of total color coverage around the yarn. But with the 2 different colors layered, since each of them will be a little heavier in some areas, a little lighter in others, gives you these shifts of hue, and ooh, it's so cool. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and thank you so much for joining me for yet another episode of Leave No Dye Behind. In a recent video, I asked what you guys thought about these, and some of you mentioned how free it feels that I am, and I think that that is exactly true. Honestly, a lot of the times I want to just make sure I use up all that dye because I don't want to waste it, and I have limited space to store miscellaneous, either whether it's mixed powders or mixed colors. And I mean, look at the pretty yarn we created with leftovers. I feel absolutely free when I'm going off, and I don't have a specific vision or question I'm trying to answer, but it's more, I don't know, I love all opportunities to just dye by feel and adjust my plan as I watch how the colors are combining on yarn, because then it gives me some inspiration of things that I might want to try with more intent in the future. I am Rebecca from ChemKnits, and if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and like and tap that bell icon to make sure your notifications are on and you never miss a new video. I always release 2 videos a week, even during the holidays. Well, during the holidays this year it was a lot more than 2, but there's a lot of content coming, and yeah, you don't want to miss any of it. If you love the yarn I dye and want to know what happens to it, head over to the ChemKnits Creations Etsy shop. The store is filled with hundreds of skeins of yarn that have been featured in my videos, and you can buy the yarn, rewatch how I made it, and support the content that you see here at the same time. And that is what I call a win-win-win. Thank you so much for watching, everyone.